Some people really think confidence alone is enough to win someone over. But when that confidence collides with a streamer who has zero interest in playing along, you get some of the funniest reality checks you'll ever see. Tonight we're diving into moments where OnlyFans girls tried to shoot their shot, flex their lifestyle, or just push their luck a little too far, and got humbled in ways that were brutal, hilarious, and sometimes even kind of sad. It all kicks off with a girl who thought she had the ultimate pitch. She sits across from this streamer and basically offers herself up like a Groupon deal, promising him the kind of night that would make all others pale in comparison. She even starts bragging about how she'd tolerate cheating, as long as he understood that her skills were unmatched. You'd think this kind of confidence might leave the guy blushing, but nope. Instead, he looks her straight in the eye and goes, no thanks. The way he swerves her is so smooth it hurts more than an outright insult. He thanks her, even calls it generous, but makes it clear he's good without her services. The funniest part is she doubles down, like she can talk him into it by advertising herself harder. But you can't sell something to someone who isn't buying, and the silence in the room after he politely rejects her says it all. Sometimes humility stings more when it comes wrapped in politeness. But if you think rejection from a stranger is harsh, imagine getting humbled by your own brother in front of everyone. Another OnlyFans girl asked her little brother on a podcast if he thought she was a good sister. Now, you might expect a sweet, supportive answer, but her brother didn't hesitate for even a second. No, the audience cracked up and she tried to play it off, pressing him for an explanation. His response? "You're mean." She tried to defend herself, saying she only nags him about school when his grades drop, but the brother wasn't done. He started poking holes in everything she said, right down to her career choice. She tried flexing, but he flipped it on her instantly. You're selling pictures online, you can't talk. And that's the thing about siblings. They don't care about your audience, your brand, or your curated image. They'll drag you back to reality in 2 seconds flat, and no amount of OnlyFans clout will save you from family roast sessions. Then we get into full-on drama territory with a streamer and his manager. Picture this. He flies her out to Vegas, covers her expenses, brings her into his world, and then sits on stream absolutely fuming because she never once said thank you. Not a text, not a word of appreciation. Just vibes, as if gratitude was optional, and this man takes it personally. He goes on a full monologue about how the little things matter, how if you can't say sorry or thank you, then all the big things mean nothing. Honestly, it sounded less like a professional complaint and more like a relationship argument. She tried to respond, phone in hand, and he snapped again, pointing out how even in that moment she couldn't put the phone down. At one point, he even hugged her in private thinking they'd made up, only to hear her whisper she was just there for her hotel room. Brutal. She later accused him of being manipulative and emotionally abusive, which only made the stream messier. And while she framed it as toxicity, you could also just see two people locked in a standoff over the bare minimum of respect. It's like watching two people fight about who left the dishes in the sink, except it's on Twitch and thousands of people are watching. As if that wasn't chaotic enough, let's talk about a 15-year-old who managed to humble an entire panel of OnlyFans models. Yeah, 15. This kid hops on stream, and the women immediately try to clown him for being too young to understand life. He flips it on them instantly, asking if they can even name 10 books. It sounds like a joke, but the second he challenged them, the room got awkward. They struggled to name even 3, fumbling over titles, mixing up series with book names, desperately Googling to prove a point they were already losing. Meanwhile, this kid is calmly correcting them, pointing out their mistakes, and dismantling their answers like he's their teacher. The irony was painful. Adults trying to roast a teenager and ending up looking completely uneducated on stream. The chat went wild, and honestly, it was the easiest win of his young life. They underestimated him, and he turned the tables with nothing more than reading comprehension. Now, sometimes humbling isn't about clever arguments. Sometimes it's about cold, hard reality. Like when a vegan OnlyFans model went on a passionate rant about animal cruelty. She painted this horrifying picture of farms as torture chambers, describing screaming pigs and suffering cows. Her whole point was that every farmer profits off cruelty. And then, sitting across from her, a goat farmer calmly dismantled everything she said. He explained how on his farm, the animals breed naturally, live with their mothers, and only the excess milk is taken. He even joked that his goats eat better than he does. Suddenly, the dramatic story of mass abuse didn't hold up. The girl tried to pivot back, but it was too late. Her sweeping claims collapsed under the weight of a real farmer describing his daily routine. It wasn't just a debate loss. It was a perfect example of how online outrage speeches often crumble when faced with actual lived experience. Of course, sometimes humbling comes in the form of brutal honesty you didn't ask for. One Onlyfans girl tried to get rated by a streamer, clearly expecting a compliment. She even told him to take a good look first. After a pause, he dropped a rating so low it could have come with a "try again" sticker. Then he explained it, pointing out her foundation didn't match her neck, her proportions seemed off, and even her eyes were set wider apart than usual. The silence afterward was heavy. She tried to brush it off, but you could see in her face she hadn't expected that kind of bluntness. And that's the thing about asking people to rate you. You don't get to control the answer. And to really bring it full circle, remember that confident girl from the start? Yeah. She came back for another round. She pressed the streamer again, trying to get him to admit he'd hook up with her, even with a condom. Once again, he shot her down without hesitation. She even started pointing out how nice her body looked online, insisting it was Google-worthy. Still, he didn't budge. The more she pushed, the more he pulled back, making it clear that her confidence wasn't charming. It was a turn-off. Watching her persistence hit a brick wall twice in a row was almost painful, but at the same time, you had to respect the guy for staying consistent. So what do we take away from all this? Confidence is great, sure, but it doesn't guarantee you anything. Streamers might play along with some things, but when it comes down to it, they're just people with their own preferences, standards, and, in some cases, zero patience for over-the-top antics. Watching these moments unfold is like watching the internet remind people in real time that not everyone is buying what they're selling. And honestly, that's what makes it entertaining. If you enjoyed watching people get humbled in the most unexpected ways, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment on which moment had you laughing the hardest, and subscribe so you don't miss the next wild ride.